Alright everybody, so I'm back with another theory video. This time I'm reading A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Just to give you a little background, it's about a young lady named Chloe who at the age of 12, her town starts to experience a series of kidnappings and murders involving teenage girls. Now, the person responsible is ultimately caught and sent to prison. However, 20 years later, with the person still in prison, the kidnappings and murders start up again. So it kind of begs the question, is this person trying to send a message to Chloe? Now let's get down to my suspects. Suspect number one is going to be Chloe's fiance Daniel. Reason being the whole cat and mouse exchange, as far as when she was recounting their first date with him bringing up, oh, do you have an older brother? I think he knows more about her and knows more about the situation than he's letting on. And I feel like he's just kind of playing mind games with her at this point. Another reason is that he brings up his sister was actually kidnapped around the same time that Chloe's father was doing the kidnappings in the town. Now, it could be that thing to where she was one of his victims and she just was never found or never tied to the murders. Or it could be that basically it hit home for him and he's just basically trying to sit up here and commit a series of murders himself. We do only learn that his sister's name is Sophie, which again, he could have changed the name and it could have been one of the murderers that Chloe's father was responsible for. Second, let's think about it. He had some violent tendencies. The way that he grabbed her wrist, and even when they were in bed being intimate and he kind of grabbed her throat, major red flags in terms of that. Then lastly, he's never around. Like anytime something happens, the murders, anything, he's never around. And it's very convenient that he's a pharmaceutical sales rep, so he has to go out of town. Like, come on, I'm not buying it. The second person that I think is a suspect, please bear with me on this one, is going to be Cooper, Chloe's brother. The reason being is because she talks a lot about the cycle in which basically people go on to commit these things just based off their genetic background, and even like the cycle of patterns that they are basically exposed to. So I feel like maybe one, he's trying to outdo his father, or two, it's just in his nature and he's just repeating that pattern ultimately off instinct alone. Another reason is that he's missing for most of this book, and as we learned in previous books, the person who's usually missing for most of it is the one that you got to keep your eye on. Third person that I am thinking is definitely going to be a suspect is Burt Rhodes. For one, he had an affair with Chloe's mom. For two, she said that he sought revenge on her family after her father was put away. So it could be that thing to where after all these years it finally came to a head and he wants even more revenge and he's trying to send Chloe a message. Then he has a history of strangling. Like the part where it came out that he strangled his ex-wife, like, no. And then finally he says basically he's always thought about taking a life. Like, who says that? That is not okay at all. Now, as always, if I was close in this one, go ahead and feel free to give me a fire emoji in the comments. If I was nowhere near close, go ahead and give me that ice emoji telling me, girl, you were way off. But as always, please don't give me any spoilers. I want to read the rest of this book for myself. I want to thank you so much for listening to this, watching this. Please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And as always, I'll be back in the next one.